Hey guys, so today I'm going to show you two different methods to remove your acrylic nails at home. Yes, I said two methods. One is using an e-file and the other is using a hand file if you do not have it. And this is so that you don't damage your natural nails. So I'm going to be using this amazing nail dust that I have here. I really recommend it. You don't need to have it, but it's good because it does minimize the amount of dust. Essential product that you will need is this acetone soak off. It has to be 100% acetone. You cannot use regular nail polish remover. It has to say acetone. You can find this at TJ Maxx like I did, or you can buy it from Amazon. Another thing you're going to need is your cotton balls, and highly suggested is cuticle oil and these little clippy things. I'm going to be attaching some of these items on this video. This is another essential item. I did not used to have it. After I did, it made it so much easier. So if I find one, I'm going to attach it here where you can buy it on the video. And then for those of us using the e-file method, I highly recommend using a safety bit like this one. It has the rounded top. It makes it easier to file near the cuticle, and it protects, because as you can see, the roundness of the bit protects your skin. You still have to be careful, but it makes it a lot easier, like I said. So because of that rounded edge, it does make it a little bit hard to get in right in the little corner. So I like to use this bit that is a volcano bit. And it's very multi-use. I really like it, especially for getting around when it's closer to the cuticle, but not so close where I feel safe using it. I like how it's tapered and like a flat round, so it really allows me to get in there. So I do change bits throughout the process, as you will see, as well as because it does help when it's a flatter side to go parallel with the nail. When you're filing with an e-file, you want to make sure you keep your bit parallel to the nail. You don't want to have it angled too much because you can cause damage to the natural nail. Here I'm showing you how I basically just wanted to thin out the acrylic enough so that I can put it through the little guillotine and so that it'll be able to cut it. I really like this tip cutter because, as you can see, it has this little compartment where the nails go and they're not flying all over the place. Here I'm showing you there's still quite enough acrylic, so I'm not filing on my natural nail. It might look like it because of the color that was underneath, but believe me, it's not my natural nail. You do not want to file so much, especially using bits like these. This is a titanium bit, so as you can see, there's still a little bit of thickness there from the acrylic, but I'm taking about 90 to 95%. I still leave a bit of the acrylic, so when I see that I'm getting closer to my natural nail, that's when I'm going to stop. As you can see right here, it's thin enough and it's ready for the next step. Now I'm going to get the cotton ball and go onto one of the edges. See how this side is kind of like sticking out a bit? That's what I'm going to use to kind of unravel the cotton ball. And so instead of just being one cotton ball and using it all up on one nail, plus you don't want to have too much liquid on that one on your nail because it's going to be too much contact with your skin. So now you can use one cotton ball for multiple nails. It's thinner. You just place it and use exactly what you need. So depending on the finger that I'm going to be doing it on is the size of the cotton ball. Before that, this is where the cuticle oil comes in. So really soak the skin around where the cotton ball is going to be, just to prevent from excessively drying, and it's like a barrier that protects my skin so that it doesn't turn completely white. And you'll see that at the end of the video, it does not look white. Usually when I don't put cuticle oil, then it dehydrates my skin so much. Here I'm soaking the cotton ball and I'm going to just basically fold it again because I don't want to have excessive contact with my skin. And this is where these little clips come in handy. It keeps it in place and also prevents so much air from getting into and drying up all the acetone. Then after a few minutes, and I do mean like at least 15 minutes, I go in and then with this tool, I scrape it. Sorry, I somehow forgot to record, but I'll show you with this finger how amazing this tool is to scrape off the acrylic. It should be coming off like this in a gel, like a jelly consistency kind of. if your acrylic is not dissolving with acetone, or it becomes too gummy, sticky, you're probably using your acrylic that has MMA, and that's not really good. So you might want to keep an eye out for that. See, the other end of this little tool really also helps to scrape any acrylic that might be stubborn. I'm trying to see if that'll lift. If not, I'm not going to pry it. I'm not going to force it. I'm just going to soak it back up again. And keep in mind, when I'm doing this scraping, it's not hurting. It's not damaging. I'm not really scraping off of the nail. I'm just removing whatever residue of acrylic is still on my nail. Since I'm going to soak this again with acetone, again, I'm going to repeat this step of putting cuticle oil all around my skin and then covering it up again and leave it there for a few minutes and work on my other fingers. Here I show you how the finger ended up looking. And so here, as you can see, as soon as I remove it, my skin does not look white and dehydrated. I'm telling you, the cuticle oil makes a big difference. And here you see there was still acrylic on my nail, and I am removing it with this tool. So just to show you that I was not scraping my natural nail, that was all still acrylic stuck in there. And here I'm just again fine-tuning, removing whatever is still there, very gentle. And as you can see, I try to see if it'll lift up easily. If it doesn't, I stop, and then I use my sanding bit that's already used, so it's not too coarse, at a low speed, and then I'm just doing tapping motions. You can't really tell on the video, but I am lifting it very fast, so it's not filing in one area, because you don't want to overfile on your nail, because that will also thin it out and damage it, and it'll become more brittle. And you do not want that, especially you do not want to cause any rings of fire or damage. So here I'm just removing the excess dust, and to finalize, again, I massage cuticle oil all around my skin. Make sure it keeps nicely hydrated. Here now I'm going to show you with a hand file. This is a hand file that I had right next to me, but it's not very coarse. I'm going to show you, basically you have to remove the top glossy layer or top coat, whether it be matte or shiny. You have to remove it. Then I found my other file, which I recommend using a new file when you're going to file off the acrylic. This is a 150-150. Honestly, if you're going to be removing acrylics with the hand file, I really do recommend you use a coarser grit. So the smaller the number, the coarser the grit, the rougher it will be. And you can use that on the artificial nail, not on your natural nail. So I didn't have a coarser file. Otherwise, I would have gone down to a 100 or even maybe an 80, since I'm really trying to remove all of the acrylic. I would never ever use an 80 grit file on my natural nail. I wouldn't even use a 100, honestly. For the natural nail, we use a 125 or 150 or 180, maybe even better. But always do it very cautiously. Basically, I wanted to remove as much thickness from the nail, and then I clipped it using my nail clippers, going at the corners as you just saw. As you can see, there's still a little bit of thickness, so I'm going to continue filing. Yes, this does take a long time, but this is also an alternative for you to use at home, so you don't have to go pay somebody to do it. You can do it. It just takes a lot of patience and practice, but you can do it, and it's much better for you to do it this way than to yank them off, or like pry them off, or use the credit card or whatever you use, your teeth, your floss. Don't do that. So as you can see, there's a lot more acrylic there left. So that's why I stopped, because I got tired of filing, soaked it. That helps, melt off the acrylic. So there's that option. But the steps are essentially it's the same afterwards. Put your cuticle oil around your skin, soak them with the acetone cover, and then use this tool. I really do recommend this tool, and I'm hoping I can find it here on the TikTok, on the YouTube products page, and link it here in the video so you guys can find it. As you can see, my cotton ball was a little bit dry, so that's why I put a little bit more of the acetone. and made sure that the acetone side was facing the artificial nail. And then I put the little clip in place once again. And then after a few more minutes, I went ahead and started removing. Since I'm doing it with the hand file, I do it ever so often so that I can like start removing the layers of acrylic with this tool as it melts off by the acetone, and then keep doing it over and over. And it's a lot easier than just to wait and try to do it all at once. So as you can see, here is the end result. It looks exactly the same. There's no damage to my natural nail. So there are options if you don't have any file. I hope this video was helpful. If you liked it, please leave me a comment, a like, and subscribe if you haven't.